All right, this is the third session, but this is the second part of it this evening. I want to, if you have anything marked on your notes, I would like for you to mark this particular slide. If a disturbing incident happens, first of all, I mean, here you are. Remember I talked about you've got this incident happening right here, right now. You've got the learned history, so you're going to push into this learned history. Your mind wants to go back to, you know, what did I do before? What happened before? You know, how do I deal with this now? Because I have this learned history. If it's coded with the sympathetic nervous system, in a nanosecond, that's going to come to the present, and you're going to want to get in the sympathetic nervous system. You have 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes to stop it. The way you stop it is by relaxing. First thing you do, as soon as you start feeling yourself get stirred up, or like somebody just threw cold water on your face, or whatever it is, however it is you feel, you know it. First of all, you ask God to help you to keep calm. God, help me. 2 seconds, God, help me. Then you ask yourself, am I dying here? Does somebody have a gun to my head? The answer is yes, I'd run. But the answer is going to be no. Is there someone, am I going to get run over by a car here? Am I on the edge of a cliff and there's sand and dirt there and I'm going to slide down? Am I really in danger? The answer is no, I'm not. Then I don't need the sympathetic nervous system. My body does not need to work against me. My mind is in charge, and I tell myself, look, self, you're not in danger. You don't need the sympathetic nervous system. Stop. And so then you relax. I know it sounds very, but God is so simple. He just wants us to relax in Him. Some people like to just think about, you know, just draining the tension. Just let the tension drain from your head down to the face. Relax your face. Relax your neck and shoulders. They're up here under your ears. No, get them down where they belong. Let your arms relax. You can do that kind of relaxation, or do the breathing one. You breathe into 7, into 7, hold at 7, out to 7. Breathe into 6, hold at 6, out to 6. And then, you know, they're full, deep, diaphragmatic breaths that you're taking. So there are lots of relaxation exercises you can do. If you will do that within the 1.5 to 2 minutes, your body will not go into the sympathetic nervous system. It'll shut down the adrenals, the hydrocortisone, and you will be able then to use the front part of your brain and talk to God and have Him tell you what you need to do, how to work through it, what to do in the situation. Because you're just annoyed, you're just hurt, you're just frustrated, you're just sad. Those are all things that you and God can work through. There's nothing too big for Him. So it's very important if you just circle this, because this is what you want to master. Okay, now, Mark, could you do me a favor and pass these out to people, please? Maybe, Gail, you would help them so it'll go a little faster. Okay, what I'm going to give Gail some so she can do some too. Just pass them out, please. We have, what I'm handing out to you here on this side. I want you to look at the side that has like the cartoon drawings on them. And it's boxes 1 through 6. And this is a story of mine. And this is one of the ways that we help these places in our brain that are fragmented, and we don't have things put together like they're supposed to be. And it affects, the incident still affects our lives today. Are there enough to go around? Does everybody have one? Everybody get one? All right. Thank you for passing them out. This helps to put things in order, and it helps to helps us to make sense of something that we think is going to just, you can keep them back there, honey. That's fine. Thank you. It's going to be something that's going to overwhelm us and make us feel like we're just going to die, because we're not. We're not going to. I told you about the dog thing, about how it is that I, for many, many, many years, and then I had a dog for 17 and a half years, and the honest to goodness truth was, I really basically was afraid of her, because I made her my buddy, my pal. I never really disciplined her at all, did I, Bill? And, drove him nuts. But I babied this dog because I wanted her to like me. I didn't want her to bite me. So, and really, I did a lot of damage there with that poor little dog, because I did that. But this is my incident. What you want to do is start out with number one, and you'll do this in a little bit, but I'm going to model for you what's to be done. Number one is the first part, what you first remember when the incident started. Then you go to number 6, which is the end of the incident, when it was over. And then you fill in the 2, 3, 4, and 5. Well, I'm going to tell you, oh, and now, Bill, I need you up here. I forgot, sorry. What happened was, I was in about 4th grade, and I was a walker, which meant that I could go home for lunch. And I would cross, there would be a patrolman there at the street that wasn't a street, it was a main highway, Route 219 between Buffalo, New York, and Pittsburgh. And we had a patrol person, and usually a state trooper there, that would stop traffic so we could go across the street. But this one day, I'm going to school, and there was no patrol boy there, which was very unusual, and I got worried. I thought, well, maybe I was late. And I'm standing there wondering where the patrol boy is, and I look across the street, and I see my elementary school, and all these teachers and the principal were standing there screaming at me, "Run, run, run, run!" And I'm like, what are they talking about? I'm not allowed to cross this road. My mother would have killed me if I'd crossed that road. And they're yelling at me to run, and I'm so confused. What's going on? Well, they were yelling something about a dog. And I turned around and I looked, and up this dirt road where I was standing was this dog, and he was leaping up, and he was like this, and I mean, he was just gyrating and doing all this really weird, and you could hear him just snarling and snapping, and I looked like, I go, ha, it's about from here to where the video booth is, away from me. And I can hear them yelling, "Run, run, run." Well, I ran as fast as I could, and I'm running as hard as I can, and they had the door opened, and like all these teachers are standing there just screaming, and I'm coming, and this dog, I can hear him getting closer and closer, and the snarling, and I see these faces as I'm going in the door. These people are in shock. They're just all upset, and I just get in the door, and it's like, bam, that door shut, and bam, that dog was right up on that door. And I didn't know anything about it, but the dog was rabid. I had no idea. I'd never heard of a rabid dog. But this dog is these teeth, and the saliva was all over the place. It was horrible, and the teachers were just, they were just beside themselves. And is anyone else out? Are there any walkers? And I was the only walker. And all this big question mark over the top of my head. What the heck just happened? Because I didn't know about rabid dogs. I didn't know what was going on. And then the next thing that happens is I'm told to go to my classroom, which I did. And I sat there, and there was absolute silence about it. Nobody said a word about what happened or why it happened or anything. And I went home, and there was nothing ever said about it. And from that day, I was so afraid of dogs, just petrified of them. So I wrote this down, and the first time I wrote this down, I had some affect with it. Affect means that, you get a little whelped up, or you get a little nervous, a little upset about it, because even to that day, when I wrote it down, it caused me some pain. It wasn't debilitating or anything like that, but it did cause impairment in my life. So now what I want to do is, I've done this. I'm not on? Oh, see, it's always him, not me. Right there.
The big button, hold it in.
Don't hold it down, honey, just do it.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so now what I'm going to do is ask Bill to retell the story to me of what he heard me say. And he's not involved in it. He doesn't have the emotion attached to it that I do. But he's going to retell the story. And if he needs to, he can ask me some questions about it if he doesn't really remember.
So how did you really feel about that?
Stop.
So on your way to school one day, you walked outside and you noticed that things were a little different. There was no patrol boy to help you across the street or anything, and then you saw people at the school, heard them telling you to run, and turned around and saw a very crazy looking dog, crazy acting dog that was not exactly a pleasant sight.
No, it was horrible.
So
Very scary.
So at that point, I'm assuming you started to run. You ran across Route 219. Thankfully, there were no trucks going by. And you made it across the road, down over the embankment, across the parking lot, and into the school where they slammed the door behind you, just as the dog went crashing up against the door. Mm-hmm. And then you went to your classroom, sat, had I won't say a normal, I'll say a regular, a routine day at school, in your class, and went home that evening, never spoke again about the incident.
Yes, that's right. So in doing this, what it does is it helps to normalize something that was traumatic to me. Having somebody repeat it back to me calmly and in a calm way helps me to relax about it. It helped me to go, okay, yeah, I am safe. It is all right. You know, that was that incident. Doesn't mean all dogs are rabid dogs and they're going to have these huge teeth and all this, like that Hooch dog. You ever see that movie Hooch? That dog. You know, and I can laugh about it now. And it doesn't affect me. I like dogs. I mean, Tonka's my little granddoggy. And so this is what I would like for you to do now. Is I'd like for you to think of something that's a small T, not a big T. A small T thing, and start with the first square. And your drawings can be, they're very rudimentary. Don't mess with what you're, just represent what it is you're trying to say. And you put something here and then the end. And then you fill in the 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay? And then pick something that you won't mind sharing, because you will select someone that you will tell it to, and that person will repeat it back to you, and then you will share their story with you. All right? Okay?